Everybody,
Shoot.
Mathäus?
Yeah.
Can we start? All right. So this is our first podcast with a guest, and this is our first podcast with booze. It's only the third episode, so I guess we're starting well. There you go. Hopefully we'll finish the same way we start.
Maybe.
Yeah,
hopefully.
You guys are drinking, so I'm good. But me, I got my cream, I'm good. All right. So first guest ever, Jackie. There you go.
Very happy to be the first guest.
So you're actually in Europe with us and everything.
I am in Europe with
yeah.
a one-way ticket.
Right,
and
you still haven't booked. Yeah. So how long are you staying in Holland? Till Friday, maybe? Still
no
don't know?
idea.
Yeah, there you
I was
go.
about to book
Might
it while you guys
never
were
go
talking.
back to the States. There we go.
Jackie's really fond of overpaying for tickets at the last minute.
Well, actually, no. Last time she changed her ticket twice, which cost her like what, $1,500 bucks?
$1,500.
Yeah, just changing tickets. So
the next day, Greg goes, "Oh, you're changing it again. You're staying for something," and I was like,
So we were like, sure, okay, I'm staying.
And I did.
There we go. So you went to Vienna first.
Yes.
All right. So you were, how long did you stay in Vienna? Okay, well,
I was
you've
in
been
Vienna like
going
3
back and
weeks.
forth.
How long
right?
were you supposed to stay in Vienna?
I was supposed to be in Vienna like a weekish. Okay, I bought a round trip ticket. He told me, he said, "Don't buy a round trip." He said, "This is how it goes. You're gonna change your flight." And I was like, no, whatever. And then of course, like a few days before my flight, he's like, "You're gonna change your flight." And I'm like, "No, but I'll check what the prices are." And it was like $800, and I was like, "Okay, fine. Like it's worth it. I'm learning a lot. Whatever." Changed it, and the next day he's like, "What'd you change it for?" And I was like, "Oh, next like Saturday." And he's like, "Why not change it to Monday or Tuesday?" And he's like, "Change it again." And I'm like, "No." And at the same time, I'm like, and it cost me like another $300.
I refuse, but I'll do it.
But I'll do it. Yeah, as I'm saying no, I'm like looking for the flight. So
I want to pull back just a little bit because we have no idea any other context for you being in Vienna, right?
Right.
So
I
think the best thing to start with is why StrongFit ruined your life. And how it's between Julien and Greg.
I denied StrongFit for a while because I was like, no, this is too much for me. Like,
okay, so we met in LA at the LA seminar.
Yeah, I sent him a message.
Like
I kept hurting my back.
Yeah.
Kept blowing up my back doing deadlifts, and so I messaged Julien, and I was like, "What?"
There we go.
I messaged Julien, and I was like, "Hey, help me with my back, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, watch a few videos of you." And he saw, and he's like, "You have no obliques and no teres major. You don't know how to hinge." He goes, "Of course your back's split up."
Might have said that.
Yeah, like straight up. And I was like, and it was the first time somebody, I think, gave me an answer, because when you watch me deadlift at first, like, it looks fine. My back's flat.
Your back
like,
is flat.
My back is flat. It looks fine. And then I get to a certain point where, like, I don't hinge at the low back. I mean, I hinge at the low back. I don't hinge where I'm not supposed to. And but it only takes like a certain weight to get there. So
was that the case where you would just get strong enough to the point where then you'd hurt yourself and you'd start?
Yeah, so like 235 was like a mental. I have anxiety deadlifting because I knew once I got past 225, I was like, oh man,
because you fucked yourself up.
Because I've hurt my back. I've hurt my back twice before that, and so it was just like a mental thing.
Was it bad?
Yeah, it was
when
bad.
You said, like,
yeah, it was bad. Once on the yoke because I had no idea what I was doing. I just was walking like this, and then once deadlifting.
Ooh, the yoke
really
is
heavy.
mean though. When you blow up your back on the yoke, that's
the
mean.
yoke was mean. I didn't know how to like stabilize, and so I just felt myself go like this,
but
and then
did
went.
you like stay in bed? Ooh, that's staying in bed for a couple of days on that one.
But then like I did heavy squat cleans right after that.
Well, yeah,
so
I mean,
I was like, I'm fine.
So
fine.
wait, let's back up on that. So you carry the yoke, you go clack. Oh, I fucked up my back.
I said,
and so and the first idea was, there's a barbell, I'm going to go heavy squat cleans.
The workout was heavy yoke.
There you go, and then you have to finish the workout.
I agree. In the middle. Like,
exactly.
All these people were around me.
Yeah,
so
that's totally a reason to fuck up your back more. Let me,
so
they can all see me dying.
Yeah. So it was constant back pain, but I just thought that was normal. I'm like, okay, getting older, like back pain might just be something that you have to
by that you mean 30? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, yeah.
30. Yeah.
Everyone's back hurts when you get old.
Yeah.
So he's 30. Like, we have a seminar.
Fuck all of you, by the way, because I'm 45. But yes.
He's like, we have a seminar at Deuce in LA. He's like, come check it out. So I went to the seminar, and
was that like a year ago?
That was almost a year ago.
It was July.
It would have been late June, early July last year.
Yeah. And then there was a coach's week, and he's like, stay on Monday. We'll do an assessment on you.
Yes.
Ham made the mistake of hanging out with Richard and his family the night before the assessment. So the next day was the worst day of my life.
Drink. By the way,
he warned us. He said, "Don't do it.
Don't do it." They don't believe me. I was like, "Don't challenge Richard." Like, I'm fine. I'll take it.
Have we talked about what happens when Richard for Coaches Week?
Okay, so
there's one night
let's start with that. He started as a bonding experience during Coaches Week, where we were like, we should go have dinner at least once as a group, right? We started, I think the worst one was back in Belgium, in Antwerp. And the guys were like, yeah, we're going to do that. And at some point, someone challenged Richard into someone of, I can drink a lot. And Richard was like, so do I. And I know exactly how much he can drink because I've seen it. I've told the guy, don't do it.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, because he's that motherfucker can take as many painkillers as he wants. He can drink a bottle. He's like, I feel fine. I've seen him do it. So that's why I know. And they were like, we're going to drink and everything. I'm like, no, because I'm going to bed. Yeah. So my greatest thing is because my daughter was with me all the time, I had a perfect excuse. 9:30, I'm like, I got to go put my daughter to bed, sorry, because I know where this goes. And the dude is like, yeah. So Antwerp, Belgium, they all went up until like 5 in the morning, pissed drunk, all of them, because I told them not to challenge Richard, but they had to push it. And the owner of the place was there. And then the other guy, his main coach, was so bad that he had to go and couldn't coach. So the owner slept an hour and a half. 7 in the morning, he's at the gym coaching. I show up at 8:30, ready to do Coaches Weekend. Everybody's like this. There's a coffee shop right next to the place. So basically every 45 minutes, I'm like, you guys go get an espresso shot and you come back. Like, so we had to take a 15-minute break every 45 minutes because I was like, Richard, don't do that, please. Like, they know, it's like, I'm fine, coach, I'm here, I'm ready. You're ready. Yep. They're all fucking dead. So that's how it started. So I told Jackie, don't do it. Do not go drinking with Richard.
He
of
did.
course,
He
he's like,
really
yeah.
It's just margaritas. It's fine. It's and then the shots come.
No, but it's like Captain. Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan. Oh my God! Like he was like, I'm in the Navy. I can drink. It's like, don't do it. Please don't do it. He ended up that I had to carry him home to my place. So we're in that Mexican place where he goes, I'm going to go outside now. I'm going to go home. He's like, are you sure, dude? Yeah, I'm fine. He walks outside, and then 10 minutes later, there's a guy, Mexican place, where they're still drinking. He comes in, excuse me, sir, but your friend is spread out on the porch outside, and the customers can't get in. I'm like, yeah, he was. So I go outside. He's literally spread out on the porch. The customers can't get in. So I carrying him. He puked everywhere already. And he's like, okay, I'm taking you to my place because I'm 2 blocks away. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's okay, Lieutenant Dan, let's go. And so he's still puking there. He doesn't remember any of it, by the way. And then I carried him all to my place. I had to wake up in the morning so he could go get his plane and everything. Oh, it was such a nightmare. He made it because I woke him up and got him on the Uber. While the Uber is coming, he's like, no. So I had to carry him to the Uber outside. I was like, Richard, I hate you right now.
So I learned that when coach says something, you listen. You don't try to drink. Don't drink.
Well, don't drink with Richard.
It may have taken a few times, but
so stumble into assessment the next day, and they're like, "What's your win?" And I'm like, "Okay,
I want to not throw up right now in front of these people."
Besides that, deadlifting with no pain was it. So we do all the stuff, and then he has me hinge with like 145. I don't know.
Was that something. Julien or Richard's assessment?
That was
okay.
Julien, yeah. So they make me snatch, grip, deadlift on some plates, and my back didn't hurt, and so they're like,
which was a decent weight for
it was
deficit.
like 185 or something like that.
I know, but you're on the deficit.
Yeah, you do have, that's
grip.
A decent weight
that's
for me.
Actually
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
That's a very good weight.
And so like that's your win, you're done, and I'm like, no, like fix my back. Like I do CrossFit. Like,
yeah,
this is not enough.
There has to be a pop and a thing.
No, there has to be more.
Yeah, like
no more. Like, can we do train now for 3 hours? Please?
Yeah, and like that was it, and I was just like, okay, whatever. So I denied the whole strong thing. I was like, no. I was like, I need a bigger win than that. This obviously isn't it. Meanwhile, I'm still like, I've watched probably every single StrongFit video probably like twice, and I've watched way too many quantum physics theories videos. I don't even know what the hell it is, but I just like I'm more curious than ever to try to understand any part of it.
Julien has the habit of referring us to subjects that are way beyond our grasp right now. So then you just
it's fascinating.
You're like, God damn it! I'm just crawling through this shit that I have no business being
in. But I'm so intrigued because I want to know more, and like somehow it all connects back, and I'm like, I don't even know how, but it does.
Was part of that because you were just like. Because you were like, man, I don't know what this StrongFit stuff. I'm gonna prove this motherfucker wrong.
I've done tons of that. I asked very smart people about his stuff, and they're like, he's not crazy. Like this is like legit. Like he is that smart. Believe me, I've the more I try to like disprove his theories by Googling like and going down rabbit holes, the more like the dots connect in even more in a better way. Like it makes more sense.
It seems to make her angry, by the way.
But it's really annoying because I'm like, this man cannot be so right about everything. Like no. So curious, but still doing my 3-hour workouts because, of course, if I don't do crawling out, like if I don't do mindless 3 hours of working out, then what the hell did I do at the gym? So yeah, that's how I hooked up with him. And then a year later, I finally messed up my back so bad that I couldn't even put my socks on. I had to roll out of bed. I couldn't get in my car. I'm just like crying, and I'm like, I don't know. But
So
nobody.
what happened? You did a front squat and something
I was
moved?
doing front squats. Yeah, my legs felt great, but obviously, so it usually takes me like an hour and a half to warm up for a workout, right? And if I don't do an hour and a half, then I am not ready to go. But my back, I'm always like this. Oh, my back just doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't feel ready. So after an hour and a half, that whole week of warming up to work out and never feeling right, I was like, on Friday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do 10-minute warm up, and then I'm just gonna get after it because obviously an hour.
Famous last words. Yeah, exactly.
Just doing nothing. So I do my quick little thing, and then I start squatting. I'm like, my legs feel amazing. Yeah, and then I get to like 165. I'm doing like a 5x5, and then on one of them, like I was fine doing squats, and then I go to pick up a plate to switch the weights, and I was like, oh, something didn't feel right. That was kind of weird. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should stop squatting. So then we had a workout to do, and I was like, okay, well, I can't hinge. I was like, so maybe I can do like wall balls. So I did a workout with like wall balls and push-ups, just modifying. Next day I woke up, I couldn't put my shoes on. Like I couldn't even like put a sock on. I couldn't bend over without my back feeling like it was just gonna go out on me. And I've done MRI, I've done everything, and nothing shows anything. And so I don't know how a few days later it finally went away, but that was my biggest scare where I was like, okay, we keep circling back to this. Something is not right. Something's not working. As many coaches that I've been to who are like, you're fine, add more weight. And the more that like, I'm like, something's not fine, you guys. Like I'm telling you, like
there's an issue somewhere. Like
I cannot deadlift, or like my weights just stopped. Like I stopped progressing. Like there was just no way, or no matter what I did, there was no.
When did you stop progressing?
That was probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah, you just stopped.
Because I knew that something was wrong. Like if you watch me move, I'm like, I don't walk right. Like I don't do anything right. But everybody's like, you're fine, because I could fake the movement.
Yes,
really, I can
strong,
fake a hollow rock.
Yeah, because you're such a good athlete.
Yeah, I can fake a hollow rock, but then if you have me do it while I'm moving, like I cannot maintain the tension. So obviously, and I was just tired of getting the same. And then he finally was like, you're not moving well. Like you don't have obliques, you don't have this. And then with an answer, then I'm like, cool. Now let me see how I can start to build these things and see if that changes anything.
And then we need to talk about this because I think it's most of the athletes I talk to. You're coming from a very athletic background. You're a very, very good volleyball player for a lot of stuff, and you've learned to make things work.
Yeah.
Pain, no pain, you just go win the game, right? Yeah. And so your mindset was there's certain things I'm going to do. Because I need to do this for CrossFit, right? So I'm going to train 3 hours no matter what. Based on that, then I'll start to incorporate some of the stuff. But the first things first is I'm going to win. Yeah. Right? And then that led you to not. Yeah.
StrongFit was too. I don't like to think. I don't want to think about what I'm going to do. I did CrossFit because I went in and someone was like, "You're going to do this, and this," and then StrongFit was like, "You're going to do this, and you're going to feel this." And then off of how you feel, you're going to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm not here to feel and think.
There's more asked of you than
I'm not
just
here
doing.
to feel and think. You know, like tell me. And they would be like, I'm not going to give you the answer. You tell me. And I'm like, no. Like
that's not what I'm here for. Yeah.
I'm here because I need to be told exactly what to do and how to do it. And theirs was more like feel, try it, let me know how it goes.
Because you were so used to that, in which you can just display a good position and everything just had to look and move in the right way. Yeah.
But it's also that background, like the coach tells you what to do. You're like, I'm a good athlete, I'll make it work, I win, I'm good. That's all I got to do in life, right?
Athlete's going to find a way to move through that.
And that's all you got to do in life. He's like, just fucking make it work.
Yeah, compensate around it.
But also, and when she started, it wasn't working because she could move well, look like she was moving well, and lift heavy enough. People are like, you're fine. Yeah. That's what kills me with good athletes. By the way, I went through it as well. It was the, you're fine. Look how much you can lift. Yeah. Doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're just that strong naturally. Yeah. But then they go like, no, you're fine. You deadlift that much.
That means you're lucky to have gotten that far.
No, you're lucky to be that talented naturally that you can do all that shit. But that doesn't mean you're fine. You're not. And you knew.
Yeah, I knew.
They were like, no, just do this, a little bit of that, warm up longer. So now you warm up for 20 minutes, then an hour, then an hour and a half.
I would run a mile before every single one, dynamic warm up. I mean, I was resisting the oblique openers. I was like, no, I'm not going to lay there.
I couldn't win, that's why. It's like, I'm not going to let that fucker win.
Yeah,
you ruined my life already, exactly.
I don't have time for that.
Was it a matter of like establishing trust on kind of in Julien and the StrongFit stuff at the same time as kind of your doubts started to rise about the people telling you that you were fine?
Yeah,
I mean, those things all kind of happened at the same time.
Yeah, and I knew that you're fine wasn't working, right? Like, obviously, I just kept coming back to my back being hurt. I'd feel awesome, gain a tiny bit of strength, and then I'd get hurt again. And so it was just this cycle for like 2 years of just, and then when he finally gave me an answer, then I was like, oh, this makes so much sense.
After you were like, wait, fuck that guy, I don't want to do
Yeah,
this
because
stuff.
for a year, I was like, no, it's too small of a win.
Yeah, exactly. She was like, I get the answer, okay,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because
And then,
you're stopping me from doing what I want.
then I came to Vienna to that summit and pissed off like Jesse and them because I want to do 5 sets of sled because I can't find intensity. And they're like, no, we're doing 1 or 2 because they can. You know, that comes with experience. And so pissed off the girls there because I'm like, no, I need more. I'm just stuck in that mentality of more with low intensity because I didn't know how to find
You were
intensity.
really good at CrossFit because you were really good at staying at like 80%.
Yes, I was very good at mindless work. I didn't want to think. And then that's the funny thing when Greg had me push like a 200 kilo sled like 17 times one night, and like he didn't tell me to quit, and I wasn't gonna. He didn't tell me to stop, and I wasn't gonna quit. So we just sat there, and he'd add more weight, and I would just keep pushing it, and then I think that's when I learned my biggest lesson about intent. Like why? Like he's like, you didn't ask me. Like you wasted 2 hours of my time. You didn't ask me a single question once. Like why are we doing this? Why? And I said you didn't tell me to stop. So I just kept going, and I think that's when the intent thing kind of like clicked, where I was like, that was completely unnecessary. And I was like, oh, I burned all the questions. He's like, you never had any questions. He's all, that's not what burned the questions.
You need to have questions to burn them.
Yeah,
Exactly. I'm going to put everything on fire. Oh, there's nothing to burn. Shit. Yeah.
And I think that's when I learned like the whole 3 hours of mindless exercising wasn't working, right? Like, and I was no happier with my body or no stronger after doing 3 hours of work versus doing a shorter session. But the 3 hours of mindless work made me feel like I did more, and that was my standard for doing enough. Like I didn't understand like do more of the things that matter, and then you don't have to do it that long.
Was the standard for you a time or how you felt?
I think just work. I needed to.
But
be
did you
able
need to be in
prove that I did work.
go through enough pain to know that you've done enough work?
Yeah, like just and I think that's where when I was at Greg's gym, I had a really hard time because I liked mindless workouts where I just put myself through pain. And they're like, why do you need to feel like that to know that you worked out? Like, why do you hate yourself so much that you need to go through so much pain to feel like you did
Maybe, I don't know if
something?
it's hating yourself that much. Maybe because you went through pain because that's the only thing you could feel.
But that's what I'm saying, yeah, because it's something I finally felt. And I think that's the
Exactly.
biggest thing that I've learned is, and that's why I'm still here, because it was the first time that something made me grow and not run away, or something like exposed something in me that like, I was like, ooh, this is getting too real. Like usually I'll bail.
Yeah.
As soon as emotions, as soon as anything real like comes up, I'm just like, whew, I'm out. Like this is too much.
That question too, like when you get to where you're asked to do things that are extremely intense, or you're able to need to find failure, or you don't push the sled 17 times, I want you to do it twice and fucking hard. Like the thing that I always run into, especially when we start doing this, it's very common amongst female clients, is when they start doing it, the first few times the question is always like, I don't know, I don't think that was enough. Like I don't feel like I did enough.
Yeah.
I've been asked that so many times.
I never feel like
But
I've
the
done
question is, well, what is enough?
Yeah.
Like there is no
But
measurable enough.
That's
There
the problem,
never
there
is
is no
enough.
answer.
So
There is no answer.
So there
But
just
I
has
think,
to be a line.
Yeah.
But because I think the thing is, I think Jackie was doing it because otherwise she wouldn't feel anything. But okay, so imagine a world where the only thing you can feel is extreme pain.
Yeah.
Right? So, because otherwise you don't, those are the two choices, is either I'm in a lot of pain or I'm not feeling anything. Everybody is going to choose a lot of pain because it's better than not feeling anything. But so imagine you live in that world. You're just going to keep pushing this further and further until you shut off everything else. And so the more you shut it off, the less you feel, the more the only thing you're going to feel is extreme pain. And so you do that an entire life, and then you're stuck in a place where if I don't train for 3 hours and hurt myself, where else do I have?
And then
Well, I
you're-
just
Nobody
started
took the
gauging
time.
doing
Yeah.
enough on how much pain I went through, because I think at some
Exactly.
point feeling pain is better than feeling nothing. Like I got to a point
Exactly.
in life where like I was just no excitement, nothing. Like I just stopped feeling, I think. And then when I did CrossFit, I was like, cool, I feel pain, so I still feel.
Yeah.
Although I was just avoiding feeling real stuff like emotions, and I think that's the biggest thing that StrongFit's brought out of me, because at Greg's gym, he's just like you need to come in with identity. Like you're coming into a tribe, like you don't just, I'm like, I'm a CrossFitter. He's like, you're not a CrossFitter, you CrossFit. One day he asked me, he wrote in my notebook, it was like, because I have my notebook where I write out my notes, which I got shit for that too. But it was like, it said, who are you? And then the next day, like I looked at that question, I was like, who am I? And I'm like, I'm a CrossFitter. And he's like, you're not a CrossFitter, you CrossFit. And then I was like, hey, went home that night, who am I? And couldn't think of anything. Next, like 2 days later, I was like, I have an answer. And he's like, all right. He's like, what is it? And I was like, well, who do people need me to be? And he's like,
Wrong answer.
he's like, that is, and I was like, depending on who I'm around, like, who do they need me to be? And he's like, that is the worst thing that you could have possibly said. And I think that's when I realized, like, okay, something's obviously not right. Like, something's not. But I think that's why I kept coming back, because I kept getting challenged. Because usually I don't want to think, I don't want to feel, I want you to tell me to do A, B, C, and D, but I don't want to go off, do 3 sets if you feel like it. Tell me to do 3, 4, 5 sets, but don't make me go off how I feel or think. Because I've been so disconnected, body and mind. And I think that's when we started going through the whole polyvagal theory, and I started, of course, I went down the rabbit hole, the vagus nerve, all that, and they're just talking about how that connects your body and your mind. And I was like, well, shit, okay, this makes tons of sense. So I just went deeper down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, I've been so conditioned to not think for myself and not feel for myself, because I've always wanted people just to tell me, like, this is what you're gonna do to feel like this or to end up like this. And it wasn't working, right? Like, obviously something was not working. And I got to the point, everyone's like, why do you keep going? Why are you in Vienna? Like, these people must be paying you a lot to go over there. I'm like, this is all out of my pocket.
A lot of money on flight tickets,
like,
kind of
especially the
all,
changes.
You know, costing me a lot. And then I started thinking, like, why am I going so far? For, like, what am I looking for that I'm going so far? But I realized that the environment that I was in at home is not one where you could fail and grow and spark creativity, because over there it's A, B, C, and D, and this is how everybody's doing it. And don't you dare threaten my system, because this is my system. Like, I feel like a lot of people are threatened by StrongFit because they see someone doing, and I don't think they understand that it's not doing something better, it's doing something different. Like, we're all doing the same thing, but you're making me feel and think to get there, and they're trying to tell you what to do, where at the end of the day, I don't feel like I got any better. Here, I've had more growth here than I've had, like,
because you're the growth of the person. StrongFit has nothing to do with CrossFit. They all think I'm trying to change it. I'm like, I don't do what you do. I'm trying to make people better, and then they take that and make their CrossFit better.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I said, because I got, like, the whole, like, don't make it seem like StrongFit's better. Don't, like, if you're gonna train here, don't make it seem like it's this and that. And so I was kind of annoyed, because I'm like, when I went to Greg's gym, I was like, I am here because I'm trying to figure out how to implement StrongFit into CrossFit. I'm like, you'll never take the CrossFitter out of me, ever. No. But obviously that was not working.
I love CrossFit. I'm all for it.
We were talking about the system the other night. It's not working. The diet, the working out, something is not working. We're more broken than ever. We're fatter than ever.
And we're not talking about CrossFit, we're talking about the fitness industry.
We're talking about
we're
the
losing
fitness
the war.
industry.
We're losing.
Like no one's at their peak for a long time before you, like, nosedive again, and then you're back to where you started. So I'm like, if it's not working, then maybe it's time to accept that there's a different way, not a better way, just a different way. Like,
no, but at least to try, right?
Let's just try it. Yeah.
First, I think we have to acknowledge that we're losing.
Yeah.
People are getting fatter.
Yeah.
Like, you have so many people within gyms that train for 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, and then they stop because
the turnover rate is so big.
It's so big.
And I meet a lot of people, and they're like, "Oh, I used to do this, but I hurt this, so now I stopped." And I'm like, how can we stop that from happening? How can we create a base where, like, we can just continue to grow and, like, not just end up right back to where we started? Because you see people who see them lose weight and then they gain it back, right? Like, whatever it was, it's because they told you do A, B, C, and D. They told you eat 1,500 calories. They told you exactly what to do, but you never went off how you felt, and how, like, nothing went off of anything coming from you. It was all do this, this, and this, feel like this. But you never learn anything there, so then you're right back to where you started. And that's how I felt myself, just these cycles of, like, losing weight, gaining weight, getting strong, feeling weaker, hurting my back. And so
it breaks your heart too, because you go, I'm getting strong, but I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
It's a horrible
and the
feeling.
Anxiety,
yes, it's a horrible feeling.
Like,
but people are getting fatter.
Yeah.
They train like crazy and then drop off for 6 months, maybe come back or go to a different place and everything. We're not winning.
Yeah.
But we have to acknowledge that there's. By the way, I'm not saying CrossFit has a problem. I'm saying
it's not. It's
us as coaching, as coaches, there's a problem. I think there's no auto-regulation and there is no feeling of anything. But by the way, I don't think it's you in the whole extreme pain versus I don't feel anything else. I've seen most of the top level female athletes in CrossFit that I encountered are basically doing the same thing. It's like, if you let them train, they finish training, they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
If they're not in extreme pain, they're like, yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah.
So they go back, and when they feel pain, that was a great workout.
Yeah.
Like, there's a darkness growing in that, where there's that refusal to feel anything. Everybody's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then pain. I feel something. Oh, that is such a dangerous thing to do. I'm afraid we're creating another kind of self-abuse with that.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of women, they used to abuse themselves with food or drugs or whatever, and now we're doing it with exercise.
Now it's exercise, but the problem is now we're messing up our hormones, and then everyone's talking about adrenal fatigue and all these different things. And the more that I go down those rabbit holes, the more that all of that makes sense with the parasympathetic,
just shutting off your nervous system.
Yeah.
Yes, that's all. I think it's more the nervous system than anything else that we're not taking into account.
Yeah.
But I don't see it being taken into account in nutrition, in training, in anything. It's like the nervous system is that thing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know about it,
we've
but whatever.
ignored it for so long, and I feel like now. So I went to Greg's gym, and then I finally found a place where like I could fail and grow and learn as a coach, and then more than anything like a person. Because the first thing that Greg told me when I came in, because I'm like super I don't know how to interact with people anymore because I'm just so used to like. That's just how you do it.
Well,
you come in, you do your workout, and then you leave. Like there's not a lot of social media. There's not a lot of connecting anymore. And he sat me down. He's like, pretty much was like, no one gives a shit who you are. Like, be a person here. He's like, be a real person when you're here. Talk to people. Like, don't just be on your phone all the time. Because I was just so, but I was kind of annoyed how he came at me because I was like, that's so not who I am. Like, you don't know anything about me. And then I realized that it kind of was who I was. I had a really hard time like connecting with people as people. But I just feel like it's so much different here, because over there that's fine. Like it's fine to be like rude like that, because it's just I do my thing, you do your thing. Where I'm at, the gym I'm at, I come in, I do my thing, and I leave. So when I like interact with people, and I think when you come into a tribe, which StrongFit's a tribe, and you come in with no individuality, it's almost like you've got to have that to come in, and that's been my hardest
because you have
thing.
to contribute to the tribe. You can't just walk in, take what you want out of us, and not contribute. It doesn't work like that. The tribe, you have to contribute.
I apply that to everything now. I feel like all these principles, no matter what it is, I started to apply them to real life, and it just makes so much sense. And I think I keep coming this far because I found a place where a safe environment where I could be myself and be a person. And be a person where like I can actually grow. I think that's been the biggest thing, and that's why I'm investing so much. It's not even about fitness anymore. I'm investing in my own personal growth, because I know to continue to. I mean, if I feel at this age that I don't even know who the hell I am, I'm like, how fucking sad is that? What have you been doing the last 10 years in fitness? Where I mean, it really took this to make me.
When you say at your age, may I remind you that I'm about 13 years older than you, so you're all going to stop with at this age. I'm not dead yet, thank you.
But it
you
kind
don't
of
always
made me think,
discover
like, what have you
at 30.
been doing the last 10 years? Like, what is this? You don't feel any better about your body than you did when you started. You still see what you don't like. You know, like there's got to be more to it than just the physical body that you're trying to change.
Plus the sheer amount of work that you do when you're training for that you're training for 3 hours a day. It's like maybe it would just be more effective.
Yeah. Well, and then I go to Greg's gym, right? And I'm taking classes with like the regular members there. And we're doing this warm up, and they're like, all right, grab a kettlebell, you're gonna like press it. I don't know, we do it to a song or whatever. And I got this kettlebell and it's blue, and I'm pressing, I'm like, gosh, this is heavy. And I see this like older lady like in front of me, she's got the blue, and she's like, and I'm just like, there's no way.
Is that the same blue? Is it a different
weight.
shade of blue?
Like,
maybe it's not the same weight. I'm just saying.
It's like, no, that's the same weight. But I was just like, holy shit, these people are so much stronger than me off an hour of work with intent. And here I am coming in with 3 hours of doing everything, and I can barely keep up in a class of like regular women. And I'm like, obviously what I was doing, it was just doing work for the sake of doing work. It was just like throwing a barbell around because it was sexy.
Because you were told. Yeah. That's the problem when you do what you're told, is you just do the work, but at the end it doesn't do shit.
But that's how I was conditioned to think
exactly.
that if I did all of this, this would happen. But then after a few years, now I'm like, okay, what a waste of time. That was not
because
happening.
You discover that's not true. That's been a lie from the beginning. They say eat like this, train like this happens. You realize it's complete bullshit.
If that
like
was
we all did, by the way.
If that was true, we would all.
We all be doing it.
We would all be
exactly.
doing it.
We all had six pack. We all deadlift 400 kilos, and I know it's. That's where I get pissed sometimes. Is the way the fitness industry sells all that shit. Where I'm like, well, once you go in it, you realize that's not how this works.
But honestly, it took me getting so broken
me too.
that nothing else, there was no other answer but this one. Like there was just no one else was giving me an answer that was working, or that I could even like use to fix myself, except go to the chiropractor, go to the muscle. I have every single recovery tool you could possibly think of, like chiropractor, massage. I have everything, and I never felt any better. So I was like, obviously something is missing in my body. Like there's some muscles that aren't doing their job. And that's when doing all the different stuff with StrongFit, I was like, oh shit, like that's where this is, you know? Like,
But it's not simple.
Yeah.
It's not an easy
No,
fix.
no.
And you have to do the
No.
work. And I can't just tell you do this and sell it to you and then I'm
that's
fine.
been the
And that's
most
the problem.
annoying thing
Yeah.
about StrongFit is that it's more of like, we're not going to give you
have
the
to do
answer.
it.
Like
Yeah.
you're going to come up with it. And I'm like, no, you need to tell me. Like, that's why I'm here. And it's like, no, you're going to figure it out. And I hated that at first.
She's been upset at me a few
I
times. It's like,
hated
you ruined
that.
my life, dude. Just so you know,
ruined it.
right?
You really did. Yeah.
We had a super total meltdown with the microphone. No, what I was getting at was like when we talked about how we can't just like teach it to you, right? It's
Yeah.
the thing that Julien can't just hand you
Yeah.
a thing for you to read that's going to work. But things like for you, and I can see it in training sometimes. It still is such a work in progress for you to try to find like failure and intensity in a movement.
Intensity, yeah. That's been intense for a year. Intensity has been the one thing that I just cannot.
You and everybody has it somewhere in there. I do too. But where like there's a moment in which when you're asked to do something to where you can't do it anymore, that's actually a pretty easy thing that like when you're done. If you're carrying from you know when that's done because it's going to fall out of the ground. Yeah. But I see it a lot where people, and you do it often, where you get to the point and things start to get hard and you don't want to quite make that turn.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose to stop right now.
Yeah.
So I can continue to do this with that intensity for 3 more hours.
Yeah.
Because you can now you justify it. You justify stuffing in the first place. If you've done that long enough, you don't even know you're justifying it. But that's how you get there.
It's really fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, it's everything
And it's
I do.
beyond, it's beyond just this little bit of discomfort for a long time. It's a whole new thing, and you have to get used to losing.
You also got trapped into the social media thing. So
Yeah.
for people that don't know, you have over 300,000 followers.
Although I lost 5,000 because of you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay, so can you please explain why you lost the 5,000?
I can't just throw. Like, to me, barbells are sexy. Like snatching and all that is sexy, and I can't do that all the time anymore because I know better.
And then when you carry a sandbag, it
and
doesn't
then
make your
when I
waist look
like
good.
a frog when I carry a sandbag, you tuck your butt in, your obliques go out, so that's not sexy at all. So I can't post myself walking around with sandbags.
So you have to put clothes on.
So I had to put clothes on.
You're just gonna rub your shit raw.
No, because otherwise you have all the stuff there, and it's like 5,000 people out of Instagram. There you go.
Yeah,
I tuned out. All she's doing is carrying these big heavy bags.
I can't
Yeah,
do
like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Can you keep arching your back? And
I
exactly.
tried that at first. I was like, well, I don't want to look bad.
you have less dick pics coming to you now on Instagram. So there's always that, right?
Well, thank you for that. Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
I definitely.
I changed your life on that one. Come on. You don't have to be worrying when you're at the supermarket and you're like, what's on my phone?
So is your phone physically lighter now because of
is
that?
a lot lighter.
There's so many less dick
Yeah.
pics in there.
Yeah.
There's some big ones too. So there you go. I never had that problem. Like, it's funny, like we were talking about this, not that I get dick pics, I'm talking about picture of naked women. I never receive a woman going like, look, no, I never got one. That's why I'm not as famous as you are. I never got the naked pictures. See, I haven't made it yet. I only have guys saying like, you look better now. I'm like, can I have a woman saying it, please? Instead, the dudes are like, you're looking good. I'm like, yes, and you want to know how much I bench? I get that. You all lied to me when you said about like the getting famous thing on fitness. I only get dudes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was lied to me my whole life. That's the only reason I trained was to get the girls, and I ended up getting the guys. Fuck me. This is not. Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, so I can't like do all these sexy workouts anymore and post that because now I know better than to just do all these stupid movements for the sake of doing the movement. So now I do things that are actually going to help me get stronger, and they're not as cool and sexy to post.
Probably
so pissed.
It'd probably move more likes if you're deadlifting really light with an arched back.
Yeah,
totally.
Totally. You get more sponsors out of it too, which is Jackie's job. So she's like, fucker, you're costing me money on both levels. Right? But the Instagram life also kind of forces you into a certain behavior.
Yeah.
You have to train a certain way. You can't talk about the boring stuff like assistance work.
I won't. There's certain things like StrongFit things that I will not dare to post because I hung out my Instagram fighting gloves like 2 years ago, and I just don't want to go there again. But like if I do like dimmels or something, you know, like if it's part of my workout, like I just don't want. So all I end up posting is like sandbags and sleds, and what annoys me is I don't want people to think that that's all StrongFit is.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
There's
so much more.
to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But that's really all I can post. Even when I'm doing sleds, I'm like, oh, I got to tuck my butt under. But everyone's gonna be like, oh, you lost your ass. So I'm just like, you know, it's
but you can't win though.
Good positioning is the sexiest, you know. So it's just.
Well,
I did not think about that when I came up with the shit. Sorry.
Anytime you practice anything, you know, if you're just working a hinge with a rounded back, like you're just with that many followers,
Oh,
you just
there's
end up with a
just-
bunch of
those are
bullshit.
just
No, but
fights
is it
I'm
that
not
camera
willing to
angle
have.
though? Because if
Yeah.
you hinge a lot with the right camera angle, that should
Well,
get
yeah, I
you
could
the
go like
correct-
straight from the
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
Yeah. But I'm not willing
I
to
guess
go
whatever
there.
works.
I'm not willing to go there yet. Yeah.
But that, yeah, I don't think people understand out there. And again, I'm not bashing social media,
Yeah.
but it's a hard life though,
We
because
can
you're
bash social
conditioned
media. I
to.
feel like it's kind of making things look like no one wants to see the non-sexy work that we need, right? Nobody wants to see you doing all the boring stuff. So all we post is
Yeah.
the cool, sexy stuff, the overextended stuff, like all that stuff.
Well-
no one wants to get no likes. Like no one wants.
Yeah, I know, but that's what bothers me is like we don't get to post the real stuff anymore.
No.
So people think there
No.
is no need
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the assistance work, the
Yeah.
D-mill deadlift and everything because
Yeah.
you're never going to post it because of the way
Yeah.
social media.
But I try to like sprinkle it in. I want like, and I find myself like I'm like that Mormon like telling you about. It used to be about CrossFit. Now, like I'll talk to people and they tell me like they're kind of over this and that, and I'm like,
Do you have a
You
moment
should-
to talk
but then
about
I'm like-
saving power
but
of
then I'm
CrossFit?
like, but
or
then I'm
StrongFit?
scared to tell. Then I'm scared to tell them about because I have to warn them. Like, oh, dude, you should totally check out StrongFit. I'm like, but like. Number one, I don't even know where to tell you where to start. And number two, once you start, it's gonna ruin your life like mine. So I'm just going to like push
You're
you
gonna lose
that way and tell
sponsors and
you
Instagram
that there's
followers and
another
money
way.
and yeah.
But just know that it's gonna ruin how you think about. It's gonna make you question everything that you've been taught. And I think for like I've noticed like a lot of like not just top coaches but people that know their shit. They feel very threatened that if they admit that this works or this is good, then they feel like it discredits everything that they've taught before. So I know a good coach or someone that really cares about people, when they see what they're doing, they say, you know what? That's
Perfect, yeah.
That's kind of cool. And then I'm like, cool, like you're willing to accept that there's a different way, not a better way. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying a different way. But most are just like, no,
Start
that's
there.
bullshit.
Yeah.
No, that's dumb. No. And then I was telling him, like, I'll see somebody now preach what he's been preaching for like ever, or like implement something, and then I'm like, doesn't that annoy you that you've been saying this for so long? And he's like, I don't do it for the glory, I don't do it for the confetti. If they're gonna implement something that I said and take it as their own to help people, then I did my job. And for me, I was like, holy shit, like that's the kind of person I want to follow. That's the kind of person that like everything that they say, and he never says do this, it's the best. He says try this and tell me how you feel. And I feel like that's been the best way for me to learn and grow. Not because someone told me A, B, C, and D. Someone said, try it and let me know, which is first really annoying, but yeah.
You're distracting me with this.
Which I was that person that did not want to think. I resisted this. I didn't want to think. I didn't want to do any of that. I liked being a mindless person. I like 40-minute mindless workouts. That was my thing. And then when I was forced to start growing and thinking, it was almost like the light was on, and I was like, what the hell have I been doing for so long?
You know why you stick with StrongFit and kept trying wasn't just for you, because we had a conversation from the beginning when you said you actually wanted to help people.
Yeah.
So that kept you within what we do.
You know what's funny is the goal has been to help people, but I also know that if I can't help myself, I can't help people. And I'm in a place where like me growing and learning has been the best thing to help other people, but I can't preach stuff that I can't implement on my own, because that's what I've been doing my whole life. Like I've been telling you to do all these things that they told me to do. They told me that if people did all of this, that they would get their results, but it wasn't because I figured it out or I learned. That's just what I was told. And now here I have somebody saying like, this is what I think might work. Try it. You let me know. And then as annoying as it was at first, I realized like that's what I needed to like step outside my own little, because I like my comfort zone. I like my little box and I don't want to leave it. And I think this has like really forced me outside of it, and that's why I resisted. And that's why I was actually had anxiety about going back to Greg's gym, because I can't be that fake person in Greg's gym. I cannot like, he's like, come here, be human, or don't come here. And as much as I didn't want to come, because the old Jackie is just such a pussy that I'm like, oh, I don't want to face anything real. I'm going to avoid it. I'm going to hide from it. Like he was talking about the zombies the other day. Like pretend like it's not. That's been my whole life. Pretend like shit's not happening and just keep moving on. And it just got to a point where like that life wasn't working. Like I got to a point where I can't feel, I can't think. I deny emotions. I'm just like, not emotionless, obviously, but I have a hard time expressing them, because that's, and I think this has forced me out of it. The more that we do the whole polyvagal theory, the more, and I kept asking them, I'm like, I feel like I fit in the depressed box. And they're like, you're not depressed. Like sometimes you might feel depression, but you're not a depressed person, but I kept trying to put myself in that bottom left box. I'm like, I feel like this is me, like I can't feel, but I also have this thing where I can't get to anger. Like, and not because there's certain things I've shut down my entire life that like now it's here, and it's a scary freaking world that now you have to face all these things that you don't want to face.
That is such a hard thing,
but it's the only way to grow. Like, I've traveled the world looking for myself, right? Like but the more that I travel, the more I was like, you've been ignoring all these things within yourself. This is making me face them, and I hate it for it. Like, I believe me, because it's like this box of scary monsters that you never wanted to look in. You just kept avoiding it, but at some point, you can't grow past what you can't feel, what you can't see.
It's still in symbiosis with your own body.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane that we have to have a conversation telling people that they should be in symbiosis with their own body? How fucked up it is that we need to have that conversation. It's not you, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. That shows you how bad we've fallen as a society, that we need to have that conversation. I'm crazy for telling people they need to be in symbiosis with their own body.
Yeah.
And I'm the weird one.
Yeah, but that's what I told him. I'm like, you're a dangerous person if you're telling people to think and feel for themselves.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous man.
That's why she's kind of worried about me. She
Yeah,
thinks I'm going to go away at some point. I'm going to be
Yeah.
disappeared. But it's like one day you're just going to be gone, and I know something will happen. They got to you.
Yeah. But it started with fitness, and it started with wanting to fix myself, and then it became so much more than that. Like.
But back then you told me you wanted to help the regular people that follow you. That was your number one goal.
But I have a hard time. I'm still having a hard. That's why I keep doing implementation. That's why I want to do implementation, because I want to find out how to sneak it in without telling you about StrongFit.
Well, at first it was not being a fake about it. You wanted to understand it so you can.
Well, because I have to be able to talk about it and be able to back it up, and that's
which
why
I think you can, honestly.
Back.
I also think like all those years I've kind of lowered your confidence level on this. I think you make a great coach. You just at some point you're gonna have to give yourself the opportunity to go there.
To do the opposite of what they've been taught, and if I resisted it because it was the opposite, then I'm trying to find a way to sprinkle it in and spark curiosity in people. Like, I don't want to tell them about it. I want to show them how well it's doing for me, and let them want to be like.
A sensible way of doing it.
And so that's kind of why I'm not like, if you see my social media, I sprinkle a lot of StrongFit, but that's not me telling you go do it. I'm just like, this is what I found. This is what worked for me. Like, and then people will want to go look for it.
For you as a coach, you kind of had a fairly decent turning point, at least this week.
Yeah.
In being able to think for yourself with things too, right? Like, you used to always go back to the thing where you maybe didn't think that, I don't know enough to defend this thing, or I only know this.
Did you actually talk at the implementation week?
Oh, yes.
Oh!
The other thing, though, is she was forced to see and learn about being creative.
I think that's been the hardest thing, is like getting being allowed to be creative.
It's
like,
not 9 movements on a list with a poster.
Yes, it's not. It needs to look like this. It's like it needs to feel like this. But I think I was missing a gap between everything I knew and what I saw needed to be fixed, and how I was going to sprinkle this in without disturbing the piece. Because once you disturb the piece, or you start saying there's a different way, like, you guys ruined one of my coaches. This poor girl did a seminar, and now she's just so confused about life and about coaching. And I had to be like, and she'll see things in her class. She's like, I'm just like, you're gonna have to just for now turn the other way. Like, you have 10 minutes in the beginning to teach them how to feel something, and then let them play. I'm like, so I'm.
Otherwise you get fired.
Yeah, exactly. But that's kind
much,
of what's happening, because once you start teaching people something different, that's different than the way that we've been doing it, it threatens the system. And once you threaten the system, the people at the top are like, whoa, now you're a danger to my system, because you're making people think and feel for themselves. You know, like, no one wants that. They want you to stay.
I never foresaw that as an issue, because I am not changing, trying to change CrossFit or anything. I'm just trying to make it better, but from the coaching perspective.
That's
like
exactly what I say. I'm like, I keep going to Vienna and Utrecht because I want to learn how to implement into CrossFit. I'm not leaving CrossFit.
Better
I
at
love
CrossFit? Yes,
CrossFit,
I love CrossFit.
Like,
I don't do CrossFit, but I love CrossFit.
I feel we can all have better bases to do more CrossFit. That's all I think. So I'm trying to find out how to help people build better bases so they can do more CrossFit.
That's all I want. Means I want to see people doing more CrossFit, not less. Because, okay, can we also talk about the fact that there is, and I'm not blaming Greg Glassman or CrossFit for it, but the way we are doing CrossFit is leading to people not being able to sustain intensity for a long period of time. Glassman talked about fitness being health related, being intensity over time. Can we talk about the fact that when people push, they get 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and then they get hurt again, go right back to where they were, build up again, 8 to 10 weeks, and go right back to where they were, and then they keep doing this back and forth because they keep getting hurt or messed up or tired. The intensity goes up and down. It's happening. The turnover in CrossFit is humongous. Can we please talk about it? This is not criticizing CrossFit. No. This is criticizing us as people. We're doing it wrong.
But as coaches, because we have allowed people to tell us exactly how to do, like the person that I was. Just give me A, B, C, D, and E. Give me a template. Tell me exactly how to do it, and I'm going to implement this without getting any feedback, without changing anything, but just hoping that everything that I was told on how to do it is going to work for these people. That's not how life works. I can't just take
that's not how learning works.
That's not how learning works.
No, but actually, it's not how learning works, but that's how school works. And they're telling us that's how learning works. That's the tyranny of the majority. It's like it works for 70% of people, therefore it works for you. And if it doesn't, it's your fault. Because you've been blamed for every injury that you had anytime you didn't have results because you didn't. So they give diets to people, and when it doesn't work, they go, oh, you're not strong enough mentally to stick with the diet because you can't have carbs, or your performance is not good enough, and get stronger mentally, push a bit harder. We keep blaming people when the shit doesn't work. That's what upsets me.
When we were talking about it, we're like, it's not working. Why is nobody questioning it? Why is nobody the law of thermodynamics? I know it's a law, so no one wants to question it, because even me, like as soon as I started playing my nutrition, I was like, I'm not getting 130 grams of protein. I kind of started freaking out, and I'm like, why do you need 130 grams of protein? Oh, because they told me to. I'm like, how do they know my body and how my body, and how long ago did we come up with that? And is that still valid? And is it working?
By the way, but
does the work that I'm doing require that?
But it's
right
not
now?
working. Look at us now compared to then. Like nothing has changed. So.
But plus, it's not 130 grams of proteins. How much of it are you actually digesting? So it's not what's in your mouth. It's actually what's in your system. These are different workouts. It's not.
But that's what's just been annoying. He's like, it's so simple. And I'm like, it's so simple. Like, why hasn't anybody thought to even
that's
try
a real question.
Something different?
And I think with the nutrition thing and the training stuff, that's what separates what we do from a lot of other things. Is that you just go try it. Like that's all this is.
But because it's different, and I don't want people ever to do stuff because I said it. That's what bothers me with all of stuff. Is people do stuff
done in your name.
And I don't want that. What I'm saying is, to me, there's a logical evidence to what I'm saying is right. I want you to go try and tell me if you can prove me wrong. That's all, right? But the nutrition is where people got the most emotional. I got people in my mentoring program that got emotional about nutrition when I start to because of course I don't change things slowly. That's my fault too. I don't come and say, hey, try this. I'm like, boom, have fun. There's your entire world being.
Actually, what was funny is when you first started talking about it, I was under the impression like, oh, Julien's trying this thing. Let's see how this goes. And then like a week later, Julien said to me he was like, I can't get fucking anybody fucking try this. Nobody's trying this thing. And I was like, oh, we're supposed to try it? I just thought you were doing it.
This is your thing.
Okay, so
then I
wait, that's not exactly how it went down. Right? I'm posting there. I'm like, look, I'm trying the shit for 4 weeks, 5 weeks at a time. I lost 8 pounds of water weight. I got my abs. I'm feeling better. My performance is going up. I got that cool stuff. This is what I do. Out of my own mentoring program, people I should have credit with, right? My people, my tribe, right? They're like, oh my God, why would you do that? I'm like, but it's working. They're like, have you read the study from? And then one of the dudes actually sends me an article from the dude who trains Georges St-Pierre saying like, I don't make people do basically what I do because this and this and this. And he's like, do you know about that? I was like, yes, I've read the article, first of all. And did you just tell me to shut up? Is that what is that passive aggressive or shut the fuck up and move on? I'm like, are you guys insane?
Well, it's funny with the food.
Give me 4 weeks. That's all I'm asking.
Exactly. Like with food, it's like, okay, so if you think it's a little weird or that it's different or that it's hard to do, why don't you just try it for like 4 weeks? 4 weeks.
Yeah.
4 weeks is all I'm asking.
Nobody is saying like, all right, this is what I have to do forever. Plus, the fucking diet you're doing now, you're not going to do forever.
Look,
the press is not working. It's not working.
Look, there's anxiety to changing what you've been doing. Now, this is the stupid
whether it's
thing.
working or not.
This is the stupid thing. What you're doing right now is not working. But
and you're still anxious about changing it.
Because it might not work even more than it was. It can't not work any more than it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. It's not working. So there's nowhere to go but up.
It's the devil you know.
Yeah, but there's anxiety. And for me, there was anxiety in changing 2 hours of hard, oh my God, if I do less work, oh my God, then I'm just going to get fatter.
By the way, that's the question, then what? I don't know, but it could be bad.
Yeah, and so I think you get it, like for me, I have anxiety changing because it's like, what if, oh my God, what if I get worse? What if I get weaker? What if I get fatter? Like, I'm like, you still don't feel any better, so why not just
What
give
if
it a
feeling
chance?
better meant you got a little weaker and a little softer
Yeah.
for a little
No, but
bit
even
anyways?
imagine a
That's-
world.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
imagine a
That'd be
world.
fine.
No, she's not going to accept that. But imagine a world where you have to train 3 hours a day and have your nutrition to the gram to get you not getting fatter or getting weird, just staying at that basically point where you're not even happy. Is your body that weak of a creature, of a system, that it requires that much work to be at a place where you're not even happy?
Yeah.
That's a horrible life to have.
Maintain,
Just to maintain something that doesn't even make you happy, by the way. It's just maintaining a level at which you're not happy, because if you don't control every single facet of your life, you're going to be worse than where you already are, which is not happy.
Which is not happy.
That's a horrible life.
Yeah.
And by the way, the body, you're a great athlete. How can it possibly be that? That's me. I look at it, I guess, where I look at it differently. It's like the body is that beautiful thing that obviously can get way better because you're not happy.
Yeah.
If that was your max, you'd be happy. You're not. So therefore, we can do better. But no, you've been told that, yeah, but it could be worse. I'm like, fuck you. That's a horrible way of living. Like the whole, it could be worse. No, it could be better.
Yeah.
I refuse it could be worse. No, it can be better. No, that is not how no, oh my God, I would never do anything in life if I start to go, it could be worse.
Yeah.
How bad? Like we're back at the concentration camp? Yes, obviously, that could be worse, but I'm thinking there can be something better. That's why she was telling me all the stuff she had to do. What killed me is all the variables you had to control.
Yeah.
I was like, is that your life right now, where you have to control every single fucking thing?
To still not be satisfied.
And still not be happy and not making progress in 2 years. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Like that is not a good life. And the fact that you've been told to do, and women are far better to coach like this because they will do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
The downside is you'll be loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Once someone has your trust, you'll do whatever they say to the grave, basically.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem because I still think it's the greatest thing about women, but it can turn into an issue where, so your responsibility is to give your trust to the coach, to do as you're told in that sense, but the responsibility comes from the other side toward trying to see when what you're asking the person to do is not working. Yeah. That's on your coach responsibility to go like, what I'm making you do is not working. Yeah. We need to adapt. Yeah. And they're not doing that because then it questions their system. That's when I get upset at them. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, your shit is not working. Don't you dare tell athletes it's their fault. Yeah. Because basically that's what they're saying. It's like, well, I told you what to do, you're not doing it correctly. Yeah. So but it's your fault.
No one ever thinks to be like, as we go, let's go off how you feel. Like, yes. That's not part of the program. Part of the program is do all of this.
Because I'm right, and therefore what I think is right works for everyone. Yeah. The second you're telling me there's one way to do anything for everybody, I'm out. Yeah. But it's like auto-regulation is the key. Yeah. It's just such a bad system to force people to control all the variables based on your stuff. And
we don't want to think. That's how we pay people, to take the thinking out of it. But at some point we need to think for ourselves in order to make it work. But that's been the biggest thing.
At least when it's not working. Can we start with that? Can we do that? Yeah. If it's not working out there, let's try something. Sorry, this one. Let's try at least give me 4 weeks on the nutrition, for example, which I was so surprised that. That's why I only really sit on the mentoring program, because I thought everybody would try it because they saw the results on me. And they would all give me 4 weeks, and then I would get confidence, and everybody going, I got fucking zero.
Well, now you know what it's like for us trying to do that stuff on the ground, Coach. Where
in your gym,
in our gym, everyone's like,
right.
I don't want to go back to having a gym. Yeah, exactly. That's why they ask me, are you going to coach people downstairs? No, I'm not going back to that. Thank you. I'm very happy just ordering people on the mentoring program.
So Jackie, now you are migrating back to Vienna. Yeah. For an indeterminate amount of time.
Like a weekish.
A weekish.
I see it.
That's how we started there.
Yeah, I say a
started there last
time.
time.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
What do you plan to do? What do you hope to get out of that? Is this a matter of like buying in extra now? Is kind of what you're trying to do?
The whole point. So the reason I wasn't comfortable. So I was in Vienna and I still had this anxiety about coaching. Because they have their own system and it works really well. And I come from coaching CrossFit where it's like range of motion needs to look a certain way. When I coach, like it needs to be a certain way into somewhere that goes off how they feel and how they feel in positions instead of just like how the position looks. So there was this gap for me. And I was like, for some reason, this is going to sound really stupid. The socialization was the hardest part for me. It's like, getting like, oh my God, play games. Like what games am I gonna play with him? Like I had the hardest time trying. I'm like, it's play. Like this is something that you should know how to do, but you know it's been taken out because the competitors at our gym don't want to waste their time doing these stupid games in the beginning because they only have so much time to train.
And social media ruined you.
And
we need to talk about social media and women because I think it's doing a lot of harm. But that'd be another podcast.
Because your way of socializing and communicating now is like because you have just a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, you
Instagram.
just start to isolate yourself.
So you end up pulling yourself away, and then you do that in person.
It's worse than a fuck ton of people. Anytime you do something, how many criticism do you get?
Yeah.
How many times
no
you
matter
get
what
fat?
You, do.
You don't have an ass. You don't have it's being a woman on Instagram must be. I mean, there's good stuff about it because just with a nice smile you can get a lot of followers and get money. But on the other side, oh my God,
the shit that you see out there is
no. But I see the way
insane.
they're being criticized. Sometimes I'm like Lauren Fisher because she finished 30th. Like some guy was like, how do you think she's going to do? And she got fucking blasted. Yeah. People like, oh, she's going to finish last again. I'm like, fuck you. It's like, and she's so sweet. Yeah. She's never said a bad thing. She's never posted a picture of her not looking like, close. She's such a great example to all the younger athletes out there. And she got blasted out of what? Because she didn't finish in the top 10. I was like, are you guys insane? So it must be so hard to be a woman on Instagram.
It's an ugly world because you can't be yourself because you're always going to be criticized. So the more you are yourself, and then people criticize you when you're being yourself, then you think you're not good enough. You start to question yourself, and then you have to be this fake person on there just so people don't come at you. Like I have to be careful exactly what I post, how I post it. I don't want to fight anymore. How do I look? Exactly everything. And so you kind of become this robot now, and then you isolate yourself more from real people because that becomes your real people, and then I get in front of real people, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to act. Like I don't know what's going on.
How much did that shape your I want to be whatever people want me to be?
I think that was a big part of it.
Because that's your job too, so you're forced into it.
And I've always just been a people pleaser. That's just I don't like to disturb the peace. I just like to like blend in. I don't want to, that's just what. And then the more the time went on, the worse that got, I think. And then this kind of forced me outside of that, and that freaked me out because I was like, no, whoa, think.
Did that turn you off, men? But this must be the wrong side of men that you see through Instagram on a constant basis, because I know that's why you stopped Snapchat, right? Because you got tired of the dick pics.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
Because it's like, what's behind folder number 1?
Yeah, exactly. I don't open folders anymore. I made that mistake.
So now I just. No.
Social media must be a horrible thing in that aspect because you get to see the meanest.
And so this is the thing. I've learned to stop looking at the horrible and look at the good. I'm like, okay, I have a chance to influence 280,000 people in a different way of thinking and feeling. But
there's 10% that are also.
But I have to make sure that I am implementing this in my own life. Like I need to make sure that like I'm walking the walk. I hate when someone's like, do this because I said so. Like, and so now I'm just like, okay, how can I slowly start to post stuff that makes them think? Like, how can I? And that's why I want to learn more. That's why I've never been more hungry to learn, and I've never been more like the rabbit holes I go down are just ridiculous. But I'm like, never in my life would I be on the Stairmaster at 10 p.m. Not because I want to do cardio, but because I want to watch YouTube videos on all this weird shit that Julien talks about that somehow seems to make sense. And
practicing proprioception.
Yeah, and the whole damn time I'm like gripping on the outside and I'm on my toes and I'm like, okay, like stop, stop. But I've never been more. I've never been more curious in my life, and I think that's the cool thing. Like, because the curiosity was gone. Like, everything was what they told me that it was, and that was it. And I didn't want to think outside of that because now I'm going against what I've been told, and you got to stay in this line. And now I'm like, well, what's over there? Like, let me look at this.
That's kind of fun, though.
It's been amazing. I mean, like the stuff that I've learned, the things that I've like researched, like, I mean, that was telling me about the whole Wilhelm Reich, and I was like, he was a sicko. I mean, he was very
At the end, he went a little bit sideways. I won't deny that fact. He had some really, as a psychoanalyst, he was awesome. And then he went into the organ energy, and I was like, yeah.
But now people are starting to research his earlier things and be like, oh my God, like he was really onto something. But he was a
physical armoring.
Yeah,
but he was a dangerous guy.
Because he was making you feel and think.
He also was in the 1930s in the US and basically set up places for women to have sex with the counselors so they would orgasm and fix their psychological
end, he
issues.
was
That was not maybe the best way to do that.
Some of the
right?
stuff I got into, I was like, whoa, they're not talking about the same guy. Or are they? Oh,
At
no,
the end,
they were.
fuck yeah.
But it's easy to discredit everything he said before that with all
because
that.
of
It's
that,
easy to
yeah.
like, oh, obviously he was crazy, so none of the all this hippie stuff, it doesn't make sense.
The
It's
physical
gone.
armoring was, it's called character analysis by
Yeah.
William Reich. Is one of the best thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
After Schrodinger, but it's second or third. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
To do that, such interesting concepts.
Yeah.
It's everything we talk about. That's what kills me with all that I say. It's been said before. I am
Yeah.
hardly the first one to go there.
Yeah.
Fontappier, the genius Italian mathematicians, were going there through quantum mechanics. Schrodinger had a book about it. Reich had that. There was a very famous anthropologist, a French anthropologist, that got kicked out of the Catholic Church for talking about intent and stuff like that. This has been talked about. We just in 21st century, we just don't go after those things anymore.
Yeah.
This was part of philosophy. Aristotle, Plato talked about intent. It's called teleology. There's a name for it. And they talked about it back then. We stopped completely.
Yeah.
But I know it sounds weird, but I think like to be good at fitness and to understand your body, you need to go into those rabbit holes. Otherwise, you'll never understand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, you're going to be back to I'll do what I'm told and never question anything.
Yeah,
You need to know all
and
this.
that's kind of like, as this robot person, I realized that
Yeah.
I wasn't the coach that I wanted to be because I was just treating people as numbers and bodies. I wasn't treating them
That's
as
how you treated
people.
yourself anyway.
And that's how I've
Yeah.
treated myself. So the more that I learn, and that's why like eventually I want to help people, but like I'm into the like discovering on my own like all this stuff,
like it.
and then I can start, and that's why I keep coming back, and that's why I'm in Vienna. Because I want to, now I need to be around people. Because this is, I could watch all the videos in the world, right? But I'm not at home.
You need to
It's not
socialize actually
yeah,
now?
yeah, now I have to.
Oh my God.
Because I can watch all the videos and I can learn as much as possible, but if I'm not implementing with real people, then what am I doing? But at home, the environment that I'm in, that is not a learning environment. Like that, I got the don't you dare start showing that there's a different way. I got that talk and I was like, whew, this obviously is not the place to learn and grow. So I got to go somewhere where it's in you. They
to your
want you to
tribe.
mess up. Yeah, they want
I've
you
been
to mess up
opening the
and
tribe
learn
to
and-
you for a year and a half.
I
So
know,
I'm
I
happy
denied-
finally you're doing
denied
it. There you
I
go.
denied
Yeah.
it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Plus, here it seems like you're being almost challenged to learn and grow. In that, like you're almost like nobody's going to take any shit from Jackie
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Like
Greg's not going to take.
Greg-
Greg's in the room now.
Where's Greg? Greg
We
told
talked
me-
about you, Greg, for
Greg told
a
me,
while
you
during the
ain't
podcast.
shit here,
Yeah.
so don't walk around and act like you are
But
shit.
what happens if you go to a place and you're like, oh, I have a bunch of followers. This is fun. I'll fitness and I'll hang out. Like you would have got nothing out of it.
No. But I usually I usually go into those places wanting to just be another person in there. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to
Yeah.
be treated like any.
But having never been then actually challenged or pushed
yeah.
is the problem.
Well, and I know the more that he said it, like one day, like, and I felt like such a dick because after I pushed the sled for like 2 hours, he's like, after a little bit, he's like, you know why? He's like, you never said thank you. And I was like, and he's like, I spent 2 hours with you with that sled. I could have taken my kid to soccer, could have done all these things, and you never said
Oh,
thank
you went
you.
like the guilt trip too.
But it was true. But you know what? Like it was true, and I started thinking like how many times in life I just like I assume people like know that. Thank you. Like you should know this. You know. But that was
I've discovered they don't.
That's just part of me not doing this human thing, or like I got him some shirts and I threw them at him, and he's like, oh, like okay, like you're gonna throw it at me, and I'm like. And I thought about why I did that, and I was like, I can't let people know that I care about them because then then I'm exposing too much of myself, which is like scary to me. Like, and I'm growing, you know, like I'm still in this place.
I'm getting there, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing the human thing now.
But yeah, and like the more that I see it, the more like, and I messaged him the other day, I was like, you'd be so proud of me. Like, I feel like I'm a little more like I go to these places now, like by myself, and I actually like look and
say
smile
hi
at
to
people.
people. Yeah, I say
Which
hi to
usually
people.
I'm just like, oh, no one look at me. I won't look you in the eye. And now I'm just like, I feel more present when I'm around humans because this whole human aspect that I got away from, you know, because it was just all about fitness and looking
the
good. And
people
this and
thing?
that.
Yeah.
This whole like human thing has been really weird to me. But I think that's why I keep coming back because I see personal growth, not only physical. My body, I don't feel any better or worse about my body than when I started. Like my back doesn't hurt. Like if you asked me, if you did an assessment on me right now, I'd be like, I guess, well, my shoulder used to hurt. That's why I started, and my back. And I mean, I guess if I deadlifted a lot, it'll hurt. So obviously that's getting better, but I can't like.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
A lot of
exactly.
people would pay a lot of money just for. You would have paid a lot of money not so long ago just for that. By
So
the
your
way,
back
you
just
forgot
used
how
to
it
hurt.
started.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
a-
remember different Jackie saying, "Please,
Yeah.
anything for my back to be better." Now she's like, "Whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. Yeah, who cares?"
But you know what's funny? Since I've been out here, I don't usually every single day, like I wake up, my back hurts, and as the day goes on, it gets better. Usually like before I work out, I'm like, I just does not feel right. And now that I think about it, the whole time I've been here, not once have I been like, my back just doesn't feel, unless I sit too long.
But she said she's the same as before.
That's the opposite for me in Europe because all the chairs are small. My back hurts like fucking.
You have to sit like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your body's not the same, Jackie, then that's what you just said.
Yeah, no, I mean, physically, I mean, when I look in the mirror.
Outside, let's see, we're going back to it. It's going to take a while.
So, that's kind of why I keep coming back. That's why I'm still kind of there. I find something finally sparked curiosity in me, made me grow in a non-scary way, in a very like safe environment where I wasn't scared to be myself. And then because usually I feel like at home I can't be myself. I just get I feel like I get super judged or maybe that's just what I think. But either way, I've stayed in this box and I don't want to disrupt the peace. And
the curiosity for me is where probably I'm the happiest.
Yeah.
That it gets you curious to go into stuff you never would have.
That I would never.
Yeah.
If you looked at my YouTube history, you'd be like, it's like some weird stuff. But
who is that person?
That's been the coolest thing. Like he'll say one thing and he'll just mention it in a call, and I'm like, I write it down. I'm like, well, now I know I'm gonna look out when I'm on the Stairmaster.
So tonight at 11 on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Schrodinger, here I come.
What do you hope to do now?
You know what's funny is so I worked 24 Hour Fitness as a trainer for 10 years. And so growing up, I always wanted to own a gym because athletics were my escape from like everything. That was everything to me. And then I always said my goal was to have a sports complex. Like that was just my thing. Mm-hmm. Then I started working at 24 Hour Fitness and I saw how every day was like, what are your numbers? What are you bringing in? Is this person signing it up again? And then I was like, wow, I never want to own a gym. Like these are just numbers now. And then CrossFit started and I was like, ooh, this is amazing. Like I want to own a gym again. This is so cool. And then I saw people weren't making money and then the turnover was huge. And then these gym owners were struggling to get by, but they kept doing it for the people. And then I was like, well, I don't want to own a gym anymore. Like this does not look like what I want. Yeah. So then being at Leiden and then being at Greg's gym and then seeing these gyms create these tribes, these communities, and I call them like these coffee shop gyms where it's like the best of like, I go to a coffee shop, I mean, I could make my coffee at home, but I go to the coffee shop for the experience of going to get my coffee. And then that kind of, it's like a coffee shop gym where you have people hanging out, drinking coffee, and then you have people working out. So it became more of just this whole fitness thing. And now
the third place.
And this just happened in Leiden where I was like, wow, maybe I do want a gym. Like if it could be,
like that.
If it could look like Greg's in Leiden, like, maybe this is something that I want, and this is like new, like this just happened, this trip where I'm starting to think, because I'm like 34 and I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Like eventually the traveling is gonna eventually
Jackie Boone
eventually going with the flow and just like booking any flight and like overstaying and all this is gonna have to stop. Like what do I want to do? And I feel like the more that I learn and I'm around these people, the more that I start thinking, can it spark curiosity in my own mind of like, and Greg talks about your gym identity, what would it look like? And I was like, mine would be like PE. Mine would be like a gym used to be, like in school, like that would be my gym identity.
Cool would that
It'd be like play and working out and all these things. And now I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I'm still hanging around here because my goal is to have my own, I don't want to call it a gym, just my own place where like I can invite people to come grow and train and be more, but I don't want to call it a gym because a gym is like I go and I do physical work and I leave.
Yeah.
Like
call it the third place.
Yeah.
This is Howard Schultz. He was the owner of Starbucks. Yeah. And although I don't like Starbucks coffee, he is a great man. And his idea was to have the coffee shop as a third place. You have home, work, and then you go to the coffee shop not for coffee, but to be at the third place. Yeah.
And I started thinking about that. I was like, maybe that is a goal of mine because I know a lot of like people where I'm at who have nowhere to go because there's no very open environment. Like coaches aren't being taken care of, and there's no tribe, so it's easy to leave. So people keep leaving gyms and looking for something better, and never finding anything better, and they end up more lost. But these are people with passion, and these are people that aren't being taken care of where they are. So it's like if we create a system where we could take care of these coaches, and then provide like a safe space for them to grow and create their own little thing without it being like, oh, if your thing grows too much and you're making my gym look bad. Like with taking that out, we could build these really strong coffee shop gyms of just like where people go to be better people and not just go, because the working out's not working out.
Yeah.
Like it's not working. Like it's, the system
It's
is
not
broken.
enough.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It's not
Yeah,
enough.
it's
Yeah.
all broke. If we just get back to intent and having people feel and think, like we can create some really cool environments for people to be in. So that's kind of where I think this is leading me to, which I never wanted, but now I see it and I'm like, this.
Because you love traveling.
Because I love traveling, yeah.
Yeah, which I know, I get it
Yeah.
totally. It's
Yeah.
awesome. You can still do it, by the way.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
then
have
once I
give up.
create
Yeah.
that environment, it can kind of take care of itself.
Or
I
you have to
continue.
open the gym in Europe. It's
Yeah.
one or the other.
Or, yeah.
There you go.
That's way too scary. I mean, no, I'm stepping out of my box, so that's like way
I'm going to stay in
out
San
my
Francisco.
box.
But
yeah.
yeah, you'll spend so much time in Europe, you have to be here anyway. No.
Yeah.
Well, I think we know what Jackie's going to do.
In
the
like
future
a few
then.
years.
Yeah, well, I would love to see that though.
Awesome.
It doesn't. I think it's, but like the whole tribe thing, and it's necessary. I think we have to stop telling people it's just about showing up an hour, doing the movement, and leave.
Yeah.
It's not working.
Yeah. I mean, if
So
I
I'd
can
love
get
to see
if I
that.
can get like 3 more people to see outside of what they've been taught and like spark curiosity in them, just like what StrongFit did for me, if I can get a few people to just do that, then I would be happy because like I'm a completely different person than when
Passed it
from once
forward.
I started to like now. Like I've never like curiosity's never been my thing. Stepping outside my box is never feeling is not my thing, and that's why I like to do like the 40-minute
human thing.
wads of
Yeah.
just pain because I don't want to feel anything. I mean, what I'm feeling I think is pain, but it's really just numbing myself to any kind of real emotion or feeling. It's just pain for the sake of feeling pain. It's not like the sled where you really have to like challenge yourself. like-
Actually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
the
not
real
like
pain.
yeah. So yeah, so
we'll
we'll see. Futures maybe, possibly coffee shop.
That would be
gym.
awesome. Then
Yeah.
I know I'm doing a seminar back in San
Yeah,
Francisco
there
the
you
next
go.
time. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, if I stay there.
I like it. Well, I think that's got us about.
Yeah, because I think
what we're-
Mathäus is making signs. So I think we
Which
have passed
sign
an
is that?
hour.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think we passed an hour.
Is that what the middle finger means?
Oh, I thought
that
it
what
was.
that
I
was?
thought it was a 7. Oh, is that what this was? Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Till next time.
Wrap it up. Everybody.
Hey, this in the coffee is so good.
Actually, even me in the cream, I was like, this
It's
is actually
so
pretty good.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck, it's almost sweet. It's
I like
actually
it.
really good. Yeah. Yeah. In the coffee was.
Perfect.
That's how you make Irish whiskeys. That
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. That was good.
I'm trying not to freak out that I'm not getting 130 grams of protein a day right now. It's going to be a good test to see. I mean, I don't have much gains to lose anyway.
That's actually smells good.
Nika.
Yours.
Coffee grain whiskey.
Oh, there you go. You're that nervous, huh? Fuck me.
overdo
She's
it.
that nervous.
I don't want to overdo it. Hold on, let me take a picture. Oh, I think
No. I'm just. I
Oh.
kind of want to have fun with it.
I think that's mine or yours. Mine.
Well, I'm not going to
I
miss
mean, if
out
you
on all
want
the
to,
fun.
you can put it in my coffee. You know what? It's not a bad idea. Will you put a drip in my coffee? Sweet.
This is gonna last a while. I'm gonna say I'm not drinking. Oh, fuck it. There you go.
Okay, I'm about ready to podcast.